Hi everyone, this is Sasha. So basically, I wanted to publish blog posts on two websites every day for the next 3 months. Because I'm kind of lazy, I use N8N to create like a step-by-step workflow that generates those blog posts daily. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show you everything I've done to make it sound the most human and the most useful possible. So let's get into it. So let me show you the two blog posts that on my website are generated automatically. So you can see here, I started generated AI blog posts every day. You can see it's or you see like the tagging, this kind of code snippet, and also cross-linking to other article I made. So all that is 100% automated. And I can even show you that it was in my Slack, because I receive Slack notification as soon as my daily blog post is online, so I can just review it in case there is any issue. You can see here, hi, blog post notification, I made this app. I just generated this post. That's for my data field website, and this one for my Stripe website. The CFO roadmap to implement cryptocurrency treasury management strategy. So all those blog posts are 100% automated. And yeah, so let me show you how I did it. So if you don't know N8N, it's basically the new, very trendy workflow automation. So it's like Zapier or Make, but the big difference is it's a bit more technical, but it's open source. So you can use it for free, which is kind of crazy and insane. Okay, so first thing to do, very simple, is how to use a project. And I think they have a Docker image. So you should create a volume if you want to save the data to avoid, if there is any crash or whatever, losing data. So I already did that, but I'm just gonna open a terminal. And of course, you can just do it on your own server. I'm just doing it on my Mac, but it's the same if you use it on any server. So you can see it loaded, and it can show already my, active workflow and where to access this. So this is the dashboard, and so I have a few workflow, but the two active are for my two websites, and they are pretty much identical. The difference is just some prompt engineering, because of course the topic are different. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, this is the full flow. Seems a lot, but actually it's not that much. It's pretty easy. So okay, let's check it. First one is the schedule trigger. So I want to have a daily blog post, so once a day. And you don't have to do that, but what I did was I'm trying to be more human possible, right? And as a human, we're likely not gonna post every day at this exact same time and minute. So I use JavaScript here expression to create like a random time between a few hours and a few minutes. So it's gonna be like between 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And every day it's gonna be a bit different. So I did that to try to make it as human as possible. Then what I do is I connect to my GitHub account. So I will show you quickly how to do that, but it's very well made here. And just so you know, to add a new app or you just type GitHub here, and then you will get it. Very easy. So to add credential, basically you go to this documentation, and then you just follow those steps. I'm going to show you quickly. You go to the developer setting, personal access, fine grained token, and you can see I have this token here. Once you're here, you basically choose a repository access. So you can see I just put my two websites. And let me show you the two permissions I added. So in content, I added read and write, because I want to be able to read some content on the blog and also write. I want to create new content. And this one is mandatory. It's just some metadata. Okay, so that's all. Once you do that, you just generate a token. It's gonna, when you generate it, you can copy it. Once you copy it, you put your username, then your access token. And the very good thing is they're gonna automatically test the connection so you can confirm that it's working. Once you have that, you choose resource file, then list. Then I put my repository owner, then the repository name, and then I put the path of where are all my blog posts. Now I think it's a good time to show you what is the structure in my GitHub account. So my structure is very simple. It's all in the source post folder. Each of the blog posts is one markdown file with always the same structure, some metadata here, and then just a markdown blog post, which has, you know, all the things that you would expect from markdown and all the possibility. So that's my structure. You know, if you're interested in how I did that, maybe I can make another video later, but that's how it works. So that's why I put this path, source.post. And I will basically get all the paths, or the name you can see here of all my blog posts. Why I want to do that is because I want to first get a list, an accurate list automatically of all the posts I already did. So I tell the AI, don't do the same post again. So as you can see here, from the list of file, now I use a get operation. I put the JSON path from the previous node, and I output the data. And you can see now I have each file received. I can view them, I have some metadata, and I can download even each markdown file. But why I do that is because I want to extract some data. So I use this extract from each file text because I guess they give it first as binary data, but I want to be able to read each file. So now I have all this information, and at the end I have the actual text. You can see I have the actual text. And what I need is I want the title here for each of those files automatically. So I made this quick code, so you can do it in JavaScript or in Python. It's a simple regex where all the inputs are here, you can see. So we loop over the 11 item. I have 11 blog posts here. And I want the column data. So you can see for item in input all, title append. So I have a list of titles that I want, and I use this function here. It's a regex to extract only the title. And I know that all my title are from, you know, start with title, like that. And so I take the item in JSON, and I want the column data. Once I have that, I get exactly the title. I also, for another purpose later, I will show you, for cross-linking actually, because, you know, you want to, let's say, you want to invite your reader to read another article. So you want the path of all those article blog, you know, because in my website, it's basically, let's say, datafuel.dev/blog/the post. And so I'm basically getting the path as well here, and I return this JSON. Let me show you. You read all the file, and it gives the title and the path. Title, path. And you can, it's very easy. All the title here, all the path. Very clean, it works like a dream. Once I've done that, then I add a bit of randomness, because what I found was a bit, let's say I prompt engineer the OpenAI to find a good idea of a blog post for my website, Datafuel, that talk about, in this case, I guess let's talk about Stripe to Bitcoin. So my website is about helping entrepreneurs converting a small portion of their Stripe earning to Bitcoin. So it's all about crypto investment, how to handle cash as a business, protect your wealth against inflation, all this topic. But if I just put that, the AI is gonna always talk about treasury, it's too much. So I want to bring more randomness, and so I ask the AI to list a ton of topics that I want to talk about. One good way that I would like to do later is use href I don't know if you know about Ahrefs, but it really gives you what people are searching online. So it would be smart to get those keywords and put them here. And every day is basically gonna take the 2 day subject, which is a bit broad, right? So it could be crypto investing, treasury, why use Bitcoin as a reserve example. Okay, so here, example of business, government using BTC as a reserve. Okay. And then instead of using OpenAI, I wanted to have more, to bring more, let's say, creativity and something more recent. I wanted to use news to influence a bit the ID generation of new article. So I decided to use Perplexity. I don't know if you know, but it's a kind of a competitor to Google using AI, and they always scrape a ton of news before answering your question. Unfortunately, they don't have a node specifically for N8N, so I need to use those 3 blocks, very simple, and use like a HTTP request. So basically, I have a system prompt to educate our audience. We create comprehensive content about cryptocurrency. As an expert in crypto education, B2B SaaS marketing, and SEO, I create content covering cryptocurrency, and our educational content provide broader value to business. So that's my system prompt. And then the user prompt, the question is like, please could you provide 10 blog post title ID in 50 word max about, and then I use the today's subjects. So it's always creating a different question here. And then get inspired by online content. Then the Perplexity, it's a bit annoying to set up, but you create an account at Perplexity. It's just the authentication, it's just a header with authorization name and the bearer token here. So bearer plus token. And then you just pass the entire JSON data. So the model to use, the message with the system prompt, and then the user prompt, and then some basic setting. That's how I did it. So you can see the variable, system prompt, and user prompt. So I test it. Interesting that it show you all the citations that he used, and then it give me a list of blog posts. Texas Senate consider Bitcoin reserve, a new era for state finance, MicroStrategy, Bitcoin strategy. So it's very on point. El Salvador, and you can see it's really using the news and the recent data, so it's very accurate. And like even this one, Abu Dhabi Bitcoin ETF investments, sovereign wealth fund, go crypto. It's a very cool name. So I really like this creation. This one is just to clean up the data. So you just get your output, which is what you care. GPT model I use. At first I tried with O3 Mini, which was good, but I realized that O3 Mini is better for reasoning. And in this case, I think for blog, iteration, writing, GPT-4o is better. It's a bit more expensive though, so you can still use both. And what I use here is I'm telling what my business is. So my goal is to help USA business startup easily build their Bitcoin reserve. So I talk about my website, and I say, please help me. Please help me to create a daily blog post for my website. You are expert in marketing, B2B SaaS. You're also experts in website SEO for ranking in search engine. A fun note, I always say never write with those 2 dash, because I noticed that AI always use that and it sounds too much AI. And this is my user prompt. Please choose a final title for today between all those lists. And also I say, it should not be in the previous blog post title. So I put the list of the previous blog I did. And I'm telling him like, okay, if the title is available, if no title is available because we already did all of them, then create a new one. So I'm just making sure it always create a new one and not repeating the same blog post. You can see now, corporate Bitcoin reserve, risk management is digital age. So it just use this one. Now let's talk about my first OpenAI query, which is the goal to pick the best title blog post. So you can see I decided to use GPT-4o because at first I started with O3 Mini, but GPT-4o is really better for content writing and like not like reasoning, but just content. So for blog posts. So my system prompt define what type of business I am. So here I'm saying I help USA business start to build their Bitcoin reserve to protect against inflation and preserve their wealth. So I define what the business is. So then I tell the AI, okay, based on my business, which of these blog posts seems the best? I'm telling him he's an expert in marketing for B2B SaaS, expert in website SEO, for ranking search engine. All this prompt engineering is very important. And also one thing I noticed that was very helpful is because I'm generating one blog post every day, it's good to have news and a lot of definition instead of just the same blog post every day. So I want him to favorize if there is a news, just write about it. And then my user prompt is basically the final title based on the 10 that we found here. The condition is also not be one we already did. So I give him the list of all the blog posts we already did. Okay, he choose how US Bank are embracing Bitcoin custody after SAB 121 repeal. I don't even know what is it. Okay, so then just basic formatting. Because I'm gonna create a file name, so I just take the title and I create a file name with this basic regex query, and I add the .md for markdown. So that's all. So here I have the title and I have the file name. Okay, after I show you the markdown that I was using, there was metadata. So again, I present the business and then I tell him write the metadata for this new blog post. So I give him the title. I give him the date because each blog post needs a date. And I tell him follow this strict format example. So I give him basically an example of the format I want, and I also tell him that the last part, the author image, all this stuff should not be updated because it's always same. And I found that sometimes he tried to use the YAML injection at the beginning, so I told him don't do that. Let's see. Okay, and he respects the format perfectly. All good, and the date, routine, perfect. Okay, so we have the metadata now, title, metadata. Then, of course, important, generating the blog post. Again, system prompt telling who am I, what the business is, and then create this new blog post based on the title, the date. Please write the blog in Markdown format. Do not start with Markdown, but directly with the Markdown. So don't, because sometimes you want to format it like, oh, it's, to change the UI, but I don't need this stuff. It should be organized and structured, and then I guide him like, please use table, italic, bold, code snippet when useful. So I just tell him like, to create some variation. Make sure you use a human tone and do not sound like AI. I give him also the length between 5,000 to 10,000 character, and try to focus on being useful for the reader. I have the content now, perfect. So I go back. And now I'm using a second time perplexity request to do fact checking, especially when, for example, this article is about the news and GPT like to, invent stuff. I'm asking perplexity that have access to internet. Okay, fact check those events, those price. The first time I realized he was putting price of Bitcoin and the price was completely wrong. So by doing that, basically, let me show you. So I show you the system prompt. You are a precise fact checker, edit or specializing in verifying factual information in blog posts. Your role is to identify verifiable numerical data, price, statistical date, check historical events, their detail, verify name, title, affiliation, only modify incorrect factual information. And basically what I'm telling him is like, only check very precise data, event, name, date, data, price, update those, and do not change anything else. Do not change the tone, do not try to do more. So I'm really trying to be strict about that. That's the system prompt. And you can see I just passed directly the blog post here. Okay, so now when I run the actual query, so right now, because I just tell him like, update it and correct it right away, I mean, maybe I could spend time to check if it did some update, but I'm not gonna do that now. Yeah, it's just formatting the output. The last interesting part is generating. So I have the blog post, the title, the content. Please write a small paragraph to invite the reader to check one and only one of the following blog posts we already made. List of potential link. Please make sure to make it a markdown. href title of blog post blog/link. Make sure to use a human casual tone as usual. So I'm trying to always add a cross link at the end. So let's see what it's going to do. As we dive deeper into US bank are transforming their strategy with Bitcoin custody in the post-SAB 100 era, it's crucial to understand how Bitcoin can strategy fit into a business financial plan. So why not take a moment to explore Bitcoin role in inflation-proofing business revenue? And you can see it's linking the program. This post is passed with insight on how to use it. So perfect. This one is another GitHub one. So you can see I use the path and I create I use the file name that I created before. So it's gonna use as a full file path. Then file content is gonna be the metadata, then the blog post, and at the end the cross-linking. So I just tag those three and I put the commit message, or I create this new blog post. Sounds good. And here I did a 1 minute wait because I didn't know if I was receiving the Slack update right away, then, as soon as we push to GitHub, it's gonna deploy to Versal, my website, but it takes like roughly 40 seconds. So just to make it safe, I just added this node to wait 1 minute. Once that's done, I send a Slack notification, and I'm gonna do it so I can review the text, and if there is any issue or whatever, at least I'm warned quickly. Okay, so let's see now if I just send me that. Cool. I'm just gonna open my Slack. You can see one more new. Okay. And ta-da! I get directly this blog post, and all the links are correct, no issue whatsoever. Perfect. So I would take time to read it. If I really want to make any change, I will do it, and that's all. So I hope it was useful. If you have any question or want more information, just drop a comment below. If you think it was useful, please give it a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.